Lost his place in company of Blue Marine, Beer Garden, strong and smart down the outside, Silent Partner next in company with In All His Glory, but she sat on this like it's a group horse, it's a deer in front here, and Jerlin Siao has not moved a sinew on her deer. This is an easy winner.
I watched a drama series from Hong Kong. It was a horse racing drama series. So from then, it kind of keep. I dream about it every day, and then so I try to pursue after I grow up, like after I graduate from Ngee Poly, and then so I went to this staff program from Singapore Butterfly. I looked up the website, and then I was in the course. It's a 6 months course, so I was in the course for 3 months, and then I was a dropout because I wasn't good enough. So I ride the horse, and then I keep falling off every day. So basically, there's no talent for it then, but then I try to not give up and persevere, and then there are some trainers that help to support me and let me learn how to ride a horse, and they taught me on the ground and also the riding from those ex-jockeys and ex-trainers.
My family members, I think like all of you, don't really touch horse racing, so I'm always observing it from far, from the coffee shops, from the hawker centers, etc. Then we fast forward a little bit to 2019. That's when I met my partner, so my boyfriend. So he's a horse trainer with the Michael Clemens stable. So that's when I am really deep into learning about the horse racing. Because every time when I touch horse racing with my partner, right, it's always memories that are being created, right? Like he will bring me to the stable to explain why horses are being managed in a certain way, why they can be air-conditioned stables versus those who are not, why is there a swimming pool for the horses, why is there a treadmill for the horses. As a Singaporean, I've always seen, all the uncles and aunties, bet on horses, right? But I'm always very excited to see, unlike other betting like 4D and Toto, right? You just need to go to the betting shop and then you just cross out the numbers. But the aunties and uncles, when it comes to betting on horse racing, they're very hardworking. They always have books, correct? It's like, what exactly are they scribbling in that darn books? Correct? And they're always like scribbling, and then when that happens, so I came to realize that scribbling is all about the stats they're trying to write down. The weight of the jockey, what was their weight before they start racing, the weight of the horses, etc. All this add into their math. So it is something that is not just blind betting, but a following of your favorite jockey, your favorite trainers, the horse trainers, your favorite horses, right? And you come to love the background they're from, whether the horses are of a particular racing breed, correct? Or whether they came from race champion horses breeding, etc. All this comes in, right? And so all this goes into the map. So that's always been fascinating.
I went to Mark Walker from Liangdao Racing. So he was the one that brought me up from track rider to senior track rider to apprentice jockey, where I learned how to jump out the barrier. And I was very bad at it. I was jumping diagonally and I was holding onto the horses too much, and then it was damn bad. But luckily he never gave up on me. So he just keep giving me some quieter horses for me to jump out the barrier. If you know the barrier that the horse jump out for racing. So he let me practice a lot, put me on a lot of different horses, which I gained more experience and also to gain more fitness from there. So I think it's more of those encouragement and supportive people in the community.
So all these things got me really interested, and because of him in horse racing itself as a trainer, I got to know the jockeys and the staff that work there as well. And then I realized that these people are actually really, passionate about taking care of horses and wanting to carve a career in horse racing, right? Because of all this and the hardships that I've seen them endure from 2020 all the way to 2022, right? Because racing is kind of grinded to a stop between 2020 to early 2021. And they, on their own, at a different stable level, they tried to continue with the business. And they did, without actually any horse racing. So it's a self-sustaining business where they themselves have been trying to keep it afloat, and they did, right? With the hope that, because in 2019, before we all knew what was going to happen, but nobody knew it was going to happen, right? They were already talking about how, because learning about the Rod Stewart concert, learning about what we've learned from F1 and the big area like the Shilin Yeshi, and all the stuff that we could have at the fringes, right? We could do more things together with horse racing. So there were talks about it, and then bam, 2020 came. And then when 2022, end of 2021, there's hope. Horse racing started, and then we got hit with this news. Anyways, it's kind of like, it's sad, it's very hopeful.
We just announced today that the government would be closing the Singapore Turf Club, or STC, by 2027.
When we heard on the 5th of June, I think the news conference was maybe about 5. So my partner texted me about 4, and we were like, what is this? Is this real? I said, yes, it's going to the news conference, and we just knew about it.
I found out about it on racing.com on the Facebook page, and it was I felt it was quite ridiculous because we only heard rumors like 1 week ago, but it wasn't true, as in it wasn't official. It was quite shocking because Monday we are supposed to ask the trainers for rights to get the handicap done for Saturday race. So it was quite shocking to scroll through through social media and then check on the Singapore Turf Club website. There's nothing on it and no announcement.
So just people have always been putting, their money, their hearts, their efforts into this and making sure that they become better and better. And to know that all this is going to disappear in a year, I think that's a very difficult pill to swallow, right?
And it's sad to see also a lot of people had to leave early, stables closing down, especially Michael Clement's stable. He's one of the few champion trainers around from Bukit Timah era. It was too fast and too soon to even process that also as well. And we thought that he will be the one that lasts till the end, but he's the first one to shut.
The question now is, with someone of Michael Clement's standing, not a struggling trainer, the Singapore Turf Club have said racing will cease in October next year. Well, will it even make it that far? Is Clement's the first domino to fall? Other trainers, are they eyeing the exit?
At first, I think the first few months, still have hope. We try to leave it up to the owners and the trainers to talk things out. From there, it was so hopeless that I think until now, everyone's still very hopeless.
Which is why I started a petition to let people know about it, to hopefully have a piece of history that people remember for many years to come. That's really what it is. I think it's almost close to 0 for the government to change its decision. But the purpose is really to bring to the public eye the group of hardworking people in horse racing in Singapore, the kind of efforts that they have put in, right? And what are the kind of hardships that they are going to meet that doesn't seem to be surfaced by the media. If the heritage was inherited, I think like what we mentioned about from overseas, right? Does it then make it not Singaporean enough to say? I think that's a very valid question, right? But if it was imported from overseas and has been kept alive for 180 years in Singapore, and they no longer are being run by the ancestors of that sport, right? can we then forget about what this important thing about the fact that Singaporeans have sustained it for 180 years is part of our heritage, right? If it's not, then why bother? I mean, 180 years is a long time, right? Why bother then?
Go once a month to enjoy the atmosphere of horse racing, screaming your lungs out. It's the only place where you can scream. I mean, basically, other than the beach, but people will think it's crazy. But and then when you scream, you feel like, oh, it's damn exciting, and it makes your heart beat really fast. And I think people should really try to experience this one day if they can. I'm definitely gonna stay until till the end to race, and then now I trying to apply to ride in Malaysia as well. So let's say if Singapore race is on Saturday, and if there's Malaysia race in Sunday, I would like to fly over to Malaysia to race, and then come back Singapore ride as a usual routine, ride horses every day on like track road. Future is probably go to New Zealand or Australia after this shut. But now I think when it's nearer the date, I think I see a clearer picture that I want to continue. Been trying out other things that I want to work or something. I just can't help it. I can't be happy. Couldn't be any happier to ride horses and ride races.
Since 1965 till now, our Singapore economy has developed so much. We've become so sophisticated in economic development to even the 1980s, right? We said, okay, you know, we need land, okay, we need housing, we need to sacrifice some of the stuff for practicality, for economic development. I understand. Okay, I think that's something that everyone understands, right? But when we've gotten to this stage of sophistication in economic development, and we are still prioritizing economic, gains over our history and heritage, then the question is, when will we stop? How much does it take for us to erase, right? Before we realize there's nothing left to erase.